How's it going, guys? This is Al. I'm back, and we're going to take a recap, a look back. We're gonna reflect on everything that happened in Week 6 of NFL on DraftKings. I'm going to go over my Best Buys article, find out where I hit, where I missed, where I hit, where, obviously our process was right, or did we get lucky? Where I missed, was the process wrong, or did we get unlucky? And figure out how we can do better moving forward so that we can have more success and more success and more success as the NFL season rolls on. I also will take a look at my cash game lineup. I'm going to take a look at the 5 picks against the spread that I made on alzeidenfeld.com. We're going to review it all. We're going to do the autopsy so that we can get on to Week 7 and move on to trying to make more money all through NFL season. If you guys have been here, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. If you're new here, we would like to see you again. So click that subscribe button, hit that notifications bell, and be sure you drop a like on this video. Let's go over to ESPN so we can check out these Best Buys real quick. Is that big enough? Should be. There we go. That's a little bigger. Easier for you guys to see. So they threw a video on my article this week, and it was about absolutely nobody that I talked about in the article. So that was interesting. But at least there's a video now. I like video toppers. So here's the article. It's up every single week on ESPN.com. It's a plus piece, so you have to be subscribed to ESPN Plus if you want to read it. Easiest way to find it every week. Go to the Google machine. Type Best Buys week, whatever week it is for NFL, and it will be the first thing that shows up on Google's search engine. That's the easiest way to find it every single week. It gets posted Thursday mornings, first thing. I turn it at the end of Wednesday, and then obviously we kind of update things right here on stream on Twitch as the week goes on. Deshaun Watson, this was a miss. This probably could have been avoided, but I get sucked in by Deshaun Watson at that price, right? This is what I'm going after because no quarterback has the upside that he does. Yes, he got banged up the week before. There's a distinct possibility that maybe Buffalo's defense is just way better than most people thought. I had Buffalo's defense on FD this weekend because they were just so cheap and allowed me to fit all the guys that I wanted. Deshaun Watson missed only 8.28 DraftKings points on 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Could have been the after effects with the ribs from the week before, maybe not. But the player that we were mostly on here, pretty much all over every cash game that we had, was the slam dunk that we recognized early last week, stayed on through Friday, Sunday morning, everything, nothing changed here. Jameis Winston against the Atlanta Falcons had a monster day. 30 pass attempts, 30 completions on 41 attempts, 395 yards, 4 touchdowns, even though he threw 2 picks, doesn't matter. End of the day with 35.9 DraftKings points. That was a massive hit. Obviously, Matt Ryan, 30.45, also in the same game, but the difference is 1,000 cheaper to get to Jameis Winston. You can always find quarterbacks at that cheaper price. Jared Goff didn't really go off, but not really somebody that we were really going after anyway. Melvin Gordon did go off, and we're going to get into this a little bit later. Melvin Gordon, once again, with 20 touches in a game, it's kind of what he does pretty much all the time. Gets utilized in the passing game, also gets all of the goal line work. All of the goal line work with 3 rushing touchdowns this week on 18 carries, 132 yards from scrimmage, as the Chargers just rolled all over the Cleveland Browns, getting over 9 yards per carry at one point in the game. Begging the question, why don't you just run the ball every down if you're ripping off 9 yards every single carry? 38 DraftKings points, 4 targets, 2 catches, 18 yards. Melvin Gordon, one of those game flow independent running backs. When I say that, I mean it does not matter if they're ahead or behind. If they're ahead, they're going to run him more, and he's going to get more touchdown opportunities. If they're behind, they're going to throw it more, and he's going to be more involved in the passing game. So he's not just going to come off the field. Eckler's there to spell him so he doesn't touch the ball 35 times a week and wear down. But Eckler's not there to take snaps away from him, right? Somebody is going to be completely literal with that and say, well, if he's on the field, he is definitely taking snaps away. Quite literally, he is taking snaps away from him. He's not costing him touches. He's a relief back, not a change of pace back. Okay, there's a difference. Joe Mixon did Joe Mixon things, even though he didn't get the volume that he had gotten before with over 22 touches in every game this year. Only had 15 touches, 11 carries, 64 yards, 1 touchdown on the ground, 4 catches, 7 yards. 4 catches on 7 targets, 20 yards, no touchdowns, 18.4 DraftKings points. I'm okay with that. It wasn't a smash, but he didn't get the volume that we expected, but his points per touch were ridiculous. TJ Yeldon was a bit of a letdown, but he didn't smash you. We wanted him to carry it 15 or more, or touch it 15 or more times. He only got 11 touches, 8 carries, 41 yards, 3 catches, 5 targets, 29 yards, 10 DraftKings points, no touchdowns. Just the Cowboys just hung a 40 burger on Jacksonville. That was just a mess. That game got out of hand quickly. I feel like Jason Garrett killed someone with a trident. David Johnson, 18 carries, 2 catches. He had 20 touches again, guys. That's 3 straight games, so progress. The problem is only 55 yards. He did score a touchdown on the ground to kind of bail us out a little bit here. 15 yards through the air for 14 DraftKings points. He's still too cheap, but he's dangerous. Even at that price, I don't know that we can roster David Johnson in cash consistently and confidently moving forward as bad as the Cardinals are. Wide receivers, DeAndre Hopkins did catch a touchdown, even though Tre'Davious White was shadowing him no matter where he was on the field. 5 catches on 6 targets, 63 yards and a touchdown, 17.3 DraftKings points, but he was a pivot play for the most part off of the chalk of Julio Jones, who we'll get to later. John Brown, this was a miss. Obviously one of the highest air yards guys in the league. The Ravens defense was ridiculous yesterday. They ran the ball a ton. Alex Collins got 2 touchdowns. Brown only ended the day with 3 targets, got 2 catches for 28 yards, which is great. He had been getting 7 to 12 targets a game. He did not see that in week 6. We may target him again in week 7, looking for a little flop lag, a bounce back week with New Orleans on the schedule in week 7, but obviously a miss by him here. Chester Rogers did Chester Rogers things. As long as those Chester Rogers things have an asterisk, that means they come along with T.Y. Hilton and Jack Doyle being out. End of the day with 10 targets again. He's got, 32 targets in the last 3 games. Only caught 4 of those balls. One of them bailed you out. 55 yards and a touchdown, 15.5 DraftKings points. Julio Jones was an absolute smash. He did what we thought he would do, but did not score a touchdown, which I guess we also thought that he would do. Not catch a touchdown. 27 DraftKings points, 10 catches, 14 targets, 143 yards, and no touchdowns. Kiki Kuti, kind of a flop here. He was a tournament play for me coming off of, going off of DeAndre Hopkins. I wanted a little bit of exposure to Kuti because of the Tre'Davious White shadow, but I was still not going to avoid Hopkins. Kiki Kuti with 6.3 DraftKings points, 3 catches, 5 targets, 33 yards. Obviously, the wide receivers production is going to be tied to the quarterback's production. The quarterback yesterday was bad. Eric Ebron at tight end, I decided to pay up here. 17.1 DraftKings points, 4 catches, 7 targets, 71 yards and a touch. Cam Brate, we came off of him as O.J. Howard became active and was going to play his usual role. We came off of him. He still scored a touchdown in this game on his only target, 1 for 1 with 15 yards and a touchdown. He caught it on the first drive, and everybody said, oh, God, Brate was in play, and we all came off of him, but, then he didn't do anything else. 8.5 DraftKings points, which would have been satisfying enough, I guess, for 3.7K. Didn't crush value, but nobody was still here on Sunday morning. Now, if you played him on FD because he was ridiculously cheap there in relation to what he was on DraftKings, he didn't kill you there at all. David Njoku, another great game for him. 12 more targets. Just keeps getting pumped targets his way with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. 7 catches, 12 targets, 55 yards and a touchdown, 18.5 DraftKings points. Defenses all did very well. Houston Texans with 20 DraftKings points on that late touchdown. Chargers with 10. Ravens with 11 sacks and 21 DraftKings points. I came close right here on Zeidenfeld.com. If you guys have never been here. Right there. There's my big face. Click on articles. Every single week around Thursday, I come out with my NFL chalkboard picks. These are 5 picks against the spread. I usually write blurbs. I just haven't had time the last 2 weeks. I had the Eagles over the Giants on Thursday night. Won that one. Falcons covering against the Bucks. Got that one. Bills plus 10 versus Texans. Got that one. Cowboys plus 3 versus Jaguars. Easy cover. Patriots plus -3.5 against the Chiefs. God damn it, Tyreek Hill. You cost me a perfect week. Would have been my first perfect week on the season. I guess that moves me to what? 17, 12, and 1 in my first year charting my sports betting picks. My picks against the spread, so not bad. Didn't hate it. On to the 4-man, where you can see I did not come in second. I came in 4th this week. And here's the mistakes that I made. Here's the lineup that I had. Jameis Winston, Tevin Coleman, Joe Mixon, John Brown. I knew I was on John Brown Island. Pivoted down to Maurice Harris as I thought that he would get some catches at a really cheap price. He didn't do enough. Julio Jones, Eric Ebron, TJ Yeldon, Ravens D. Now, here's the mistakes. Okay? Winston was in there all week, as you guys know from first look. He was a Monday play and he stayed a Sunday play. Joe Mixon was somebody that I was going to be on as well in this game. John Brown, whatever. Julio Jones was in there all week. TJ Yeldon was in there all week. Ravens defense was in there all week. Tevin Coleman was MG3 earlier in the week. Okay, I came off of him to get to Tevin Coleman because Brait was here all week. And instead of just going up to Njoku or down to Hooper, who both did well, I think Hooper had 21 DraftKings points and Njoku had 18.5, obviously. I decided to pay up because I felt that tight end was a mess yesterday, as did everybody else. You were taking a leap of faith going with one of the cheaper guys, whether it was Njoku in a really tough matchup or Hooper, who rarely gets over 4 targets. He got another ridiculous double-digit target day. And that ends up costing me $2K here to get up to Ebron, made me come down off of Chester Rogers, who I had at wide receiver here. I probably still would have had John Brown here, but I don't know if he would have fit, so I think I would have had to come down to somebody else. I was in one of the 4K wide receivers. Maybe it was Kuti, whatever. It wouldn't have made that big of a difference on the score. But the big difference here is MG3, who had 38 DraftKings points, would have pushed me up to almost 200 points. And I would have essentially swept cash games. I would have cashed well in the luxury box, in the 3K Millionaire Maker, in basically every high stakes tournament. And then obviously it shifted my tournament allocations as well. So I had a losing week this week on a week where I should not have had a losing week. So I cost myself money, not with my research, but with my decision making on Saturday when it became apparent because my Uber driver let me know that OJ Howard was going to play and Crowell was going to play. You know, I got a pretty sharp Uber driver, guys. Like, he always is, like, every time I call for an Uber, this guy is basically the guy that's near my house. So, like, he always comes and picks me up. So, like, my Uber driver let me know on Sunday afternoon that, hey, man, you know, OJ Howard's going to play. So, Brait ain't going to be the guy. So, I got off Brait, and I got off Brait the wrong way. And that set off a chain of events in my lineup that ends up costing me 10 points here, 28 points here, or 27 points here. 1 to 3 points here, and that made the difference in a winning and a losing week. So that was my problem. I hope that you guys just played the dudes that were in Best Buys, because those were the right dudes. I did not play the right dudes. I hope that you guys did. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to click that like button. Be sure that you subscribe to the channel. That button's right here. First look's going to be right here, and I'll catch up to you next time. We'll see you guys later. Bye.